Okay, so this is the top 10 most played video games. So, at number 10, we have Doom. Doom was not the first person shooter video game, but when it comes to that genre, it was highly influential and significant. Without the semin- Without the seminal game, which was released by ID Software in 1993, the genre would not look like it does today. It was solely responsible for the word deathmatch, which is now a popular part of gaming lexicon and showed the full potential of the first-person shooter game genre. Doom was leaps and bounds ahead of its time, and its legacy has persisted with a motion picture and book chronicling the game's development, tailored for die-hard fans yearning for the behind-the-scenes scoop. In at number 9, we have Super Metroid. Also known as Metroid 3, this is an action-adventure game published for Super Nintendo Entertainment System video game console in 1994. It was also released for the Wii Virtual Console in 2007, and a new version for the Wii U Virtual Console is scheduled for release in May 2013. The game's plot revolves around Samus Aran and her quest to retrieve a stolen Metroid from the space pirates. The game was universally acclaimed with an arrangement score of 96% from Game Rankings, named Game of the Month in 1994, received an Editor's Choice Award as the best action game in 1994, and ranked as one of the best games of all time in 2003. In at number 8, we have Metal Gear Soldier. MGS, a stealth action video game, was developed by Konami Computer Entertainment in 1988. It features impressive cinematic cutscenes and voice acting. However, what made this game hugely popular was the depth. The bosses were not just mere opponents, but they were well-crafted characters with their own personality, ideology, and will to fight. This is one of the greatest gaming franchises ever, with more than 6 million copies sold, and has spawned numerous sequels, prequels, and spin-offs aside from several games, radio dramas, comics, and novels. In at number 7, we have In at number 7, we have Street Fighter II: The World Warrior, a competitive fighting game that was originally released for the arcades in 1991. Street Fighter II was an improvement in many ways, including the use of common-based special moves, a 6-button configuration, and a selection of multiplayable characters with their own unique fighting styles. The success of Street Fighter II can be attributed to the game boom of the 1990s, and as well as the sub-series of updated versions. It exceeded 1.5 billion in gross revenues in 1993, had 25 million Americans playing the game. Well, it should say Americans playing the game, in homes and arcades in 1994, and sold more than 14 million copies through its Super NES and Mega Drive console ports, making SF2 Capcom's best-selling game of all time. Just to get something clear, when I said it exceeded 1.5 billion in gross revenues, I mean gross doesn't mean blah, disgusting. Gross means big, if you didn't know that. In at number 7, At number 6, we have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This game was hugely popular to gamers due to its cinematics, interactive gameplay, and highly polished mechanics, which made it one of the best competitive multiplayer games available out there. Published in 2007 by Activision, this first-person shooter video game was used as a proprietary game engine and was available in several platforms. It was the most highly acclaimed in the Call of Duty series and earned numerous awards, including IGN's Best Xbox 360 Game and the top-selling game worldwide in 2007, with 13 million copies sold as of May 2009. In at number 5, we have Sid Meier's Civilization. So, this is a turn-based strategy video game that is the front runner for all the 4X genre. Okay, I cannot talk this morning. This is a turn-based strategy video game that is the front runner for all the 4X genre. Explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Created for Microprose in 1991, the game's objective is to build an empire that will stand the test of time. It requires the micromanagement skill of the players, and though it is not as popular as SimCity, the game's franchise has sold more than 8 million copies as of March 2008, with many of them produced by Sid Meier. Okay, I don't get this. I cannot say 4X, but I can say micromanagement without any problem. I don't know what's happening to me today. Well, in at number 4, we have Brain Age. Train your brain in minutes a day. Not all video games are created for fun and recreation as shown by Brain Age, an entertainment video game that uses puzzles such as Stroop tests, mathematical questions, and Sudoku puzzles. It is an entertainment product that was based on the work of its creator, Dr. Kawashima. In neurosciences, it had received both commercial and critical success, with 18.96 million copies sold as March of 2011, and even received multiple awards for its quality and innovation. By the way, this is like old games. These aren't new modern games like Minecraft and the new Call of Duties. This is just like old games. So I will make another one, another top 10 most popular video games, and it will be modern video games. Okay, in at number 3, we have Need for Speed. Need for Speed is the most successful racing video game ever, with over 10 million copies sold as of October 2009. Considered one of the most successful video game franchises ever, it was first released in 1994 exclusively for 5th-generation video game consoles, though it was eventually featured in all 7th-generation consoles by 2008. A series of racing video games published by Electronic Arts, Need for Speed was well liked by racing maniacs, not only for its speed, but also for the advanced graphics, car selection and modification, sound effects, and real-time car racing experience. In at number 2, we have Donkey Kong Country. If you haven't already guessed number 1, I'm not saying you're stupid, but it is kind of obvious. So, Donkey Kong Country is number 2. This game not only brings back the Donkey Kong character, which was often viewed as a cult classic, but also viewed as a cult. Oh my gosh, I just lost where I was reading. Let me start over again. Sorry. This game not only brings back the Donkey Kong character, which was often viewed as a cult classic, but also started a new franchise entry based on its new characters and gameplay. Developed by Rare in 1994, it sold over 9 million copies worldwide, making it the second best-selling SNES game ever. Donkey Kong Country was the first game to use pre-rendered sprites, which created a 3D effect throughout the game. Its graphics were made from Silicon 3D graphic models compressed for 2D SNES. That gave it that gave its animations large amounts of detail for a 16-byte console, which was revolutionary at that time. I'm sorry, but when I was typing this, I guess I had a lot of typos because instead of saying amounts of, it says AMOUNTSOF. There's no space between amounts and of, so I kind of messed up. So, we are reaching the number 1 spot. Just for a little recaps, at 5 we had Sid Meier's Civilization. At 4 we had Brain Age, Train Your Brain in Minutes a Day. In 3 we had Need for Speed. In 2 we had Donkey Kong Country. And in 1 we have Pac-Man. This classic game needs no introduction as it is still popular today and the name itself is nearly synonym. I can't say that word. It's kind of like synonym, whatever. If you can pronounce it, thank you. With video games, synonymous. No, literally, it says SYNONYMOUS. How am I supposed to pronounce that if I can't even say synonym? Okay, anyway, with video games developed in 1980, it became a staple of pop culture in that period and led to sales of countless merchandise, an animated TV series, and a top 10 hit single. Pac-Man is considered a landmark in video game history, the most famous arcade game of all time, and the highest grossing video game ever, with a generated income of $2.5 billion, all before 1990. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little countdown. And I will do a more modern countdown next time for you guys. And thank you.